Okay, so today what we're going to do is talk about what specialty you should be choosing. There have been a lot of questions we get, based on score, based on your other credentials, what specialty to choose. So that's where we are. So welcome. This is the USMLESarthi team. My name is Pawan, and I'm joined by Sejal Kurana from our team as well. So we'll try to answer your questions. And just as a housekeeping, you can ask questions on the chat. We'll try to answer those as well. Hopefully, you can see my screen. If not, let me know, and we'll see. Okay, so in terms of how to decide which specialty to apply for, there is the quantitative data that we'll go over, but then there are exceptions also, right? So how do you decide which specialty to apply based on the available spots, IMG match rate, and so on? So first, let me share a couple of interesting profiles that defy. Some of them defy the data, and then you can see. So, for example, this is our student, Dr. Somu Chatterjee. If you look at this statistics, year of graduation 2000, you can see the step 1 score, 218, CK 216, but matched in family medicine with 10 interviews. Now, when I show you the data, you will see this is an exception based on just the averages. Likewise, if you look at this profile, Dr. Elsa Garcia, again, year of graduation 1997, matched in FM with just 2 interviews. So there are a lot of things other than the scores and biology that go into the profile. Look at this, Dr. Arish Bilal had multiple attempts in CK with a low step 1 score. Just got 1 interview, but ended up matching. Amrita Daniel applied and matched in neurology with 1 interview and applied in November. So look at the score 210, 224, defined in logic. But then this is something, if you look at this score 256, 267, you would say obviously easy match in IM, but he got 27 interviews. So the point is that sometimes the data will not tell you the entire truth, and the individual performance, the individual perseverance, and individual strategies do help in the match, right? So in the last season, the season just gone by, if you look at the fill rate and the total positions, we've tried to divide it for the US IMGs and non-US IMGs. So as you can see, for the US IMGs, family medicine continues to be, in percentage terms, a very high specialty to match. Whereas if you're a non-US IMG, internal medicine with a 27.3% of the total IM spots going to them on the seems like a very good one. Then, of course, neurology is continuing to do well for non-US IMGs, and pathology more than 30% match rate, right? In terms of the total available spots. Again, if you look at the number of positions, and we have done the top 6. So IM, FM, Ped, Psych, Neuro, and Pathology. Not to say that IMGs don't match in surgery or radiology or others, but we want to just look at some of the select ones. So number of spots are one of the highest, have always been the maximum in internal medicine, as you can see, 9,700. And likewise, pathology, I'll go over it in a bit, is slightly lower. I mean, in fact, less than 10%. So that gives you some sense of where to focus just based on the number of spots and the overall match rate. So let me now, if you look at the trends of the last 5 years, 5-year match data, some of the interesting things you will see is IM more or less has continued to increase, right? So each year you will see more number of spots in IM. The point here to be noticed is a lot of people, a lot of applicants feel pathology is an easier match. But if you look at it, what happened this last year was the number of spots in pathology went down by about 28, and about 30 AMGs applied more in pathology. So effectively, what happened was about 58 to 60 spots that IMGs could have matched, and they didn't in pathology. So the trends keep evolving, but as you see, IM has had a good increase in spots. Family medicine has been increasing. There's been a lot of focus on primary care. So family medicine spots have been increasing in the match. Neurology continues to increase, but of course you'll see that become more competitive. Pediatrics also, at least in terms of number of spots, it is much higher than say neurology or pathology. So last year the total available spots were 37,425. Again, if you look at the last 5 years match data for US IMGs and non-US IMGs, you will see overall the trend has been a positive trend. So, about 67+% this last year, and overall hovering around 58, 60%. So very, very healthy match rate. And even the non-US IMGs, if you see, about 59.4% this past year, and 58, 54%. I mean, a couple of years because of COVID, I think the match rate went down, but it's very healthy, more than 1 in 2. If you look at it, they matched. So 5,000 non-US IMGs overall matched in 2023. Some of the other highlights that you may or may not be aware, the more non-US citizen IMGs applied this past season overall, so 700 more, a lot to do with easing of the travel, COVID slightly going away, and ability of the non-US IMGs to come here, do rotations. So that was something that helped. Match rate for IMGs, like I said, for both categories did increase. Primary care positions, primarily FM and also NIM, primary care increased. The other trend, which is not in those tables, is emergency medicine. Emergency medicine, 500 plus 554 spots went unfilled. This is mostly to do with COVID and the fact that AMGs did move away from emergency medicine during the COVID years and went more into lifestyle specialties. So that's something that happened this year. We have to see if this trend continues, and if emergency medicine, which is traditionally an AMG specialty, that if it opens up more for IMGs. So that's something I think we all have to wait and watch. Then let's take a step forward and see in terms of just the scores. That's some quantifiable criteria that you can all see. Now, of course, you will see a mix of pass-fail in step 1, but this is data from the 2022 match in terms of how the various specialties in terms of match for non-US IMGs. So if you look at it, neurology, internal medicine, the average score for matched applicants tends to be the highest among these categories, the 6 specialties of 238, 239, And likewise, the CK score, if you see 245. So that should give you some sense of just the averages if you're targeting a specialty. Um, Research, as you could imagine, psychiatry and then neurology, even pathology are looking at more research experiences. Right? So that's that. And in terms of even the publications, if you see neurology, average number of publications. Now, this is just average. Does not mean that you cannot match with lower average number of publications. But if you look at it, the data till 2022 shows you 10.6, 10.5 for pathology, psychiatry, very high. And as you could imagine, family medicine, not much into research. So only 3.8, internal medicine higher than family medicine. So, so STEP scores and the number of publications. And by the way, if any of you need help with research, our team does offer research courses, and Sejal can post the link if you are interested in research. So research as well as rotation, our team can help you. In terms of, again, US IMGs. So the previous chart I showed you was for non-US IMGs. And for US IMGs, you will see the average scores are slightly less across to match. So internal medicine, 225, neurology, 225. So you will see that difference. The CK score, slightly less, but still does not mean that it's a cakewalk. Research, number of research presentations as well as research experiences are slightly lower. So give you a sense, if you are a US IMG, where does it get you? But the trend has been the same, pathology, neurology, psychiatry, slightly more research experience they need, more publications. IM, neurology, they need more in terms of scores. And that was pretty much it, a very quick overview of what we wanted to just tell you in terms of the data for the match. But I did want to then also share a couple of things from our website. So that can help you in deciding, the match and all that. So give me 1 minute, and then we, of course, can open up for questions. So one of the things that students ask us, how does Sarthi help? So one of the things, as you can see on the screen, if it's visible, is we have classes almost every week, and they are on all aspects of USMLE math. So if you go to this website where we have posted our classes, this is for students only, videos.usmlesarthi.com. All our classes are streamed live, and then of course they are put up here. So it's a Netflix kind of a system. So you can see in this season 2024 pre-interview classes. So you've already had the use of EMR, then how do you build a non-ERA CV, how do you look for research positions, and then we'll get into the interview prep classes. So quite a bit of classes that we have: behavioral questions, medical questions. There'll be classes on ERAs, PS, CV, that kind of a thing. So that's something I wanted to bring to your attention. The other thing a lot of students ask us is about interviews. So what we have done is, for all the programs that our students interview, we do have interview insights where you can see the type of questions that you can expect from the programs, things discussed in the interview, what questions were asked by the program director and all that. So for all the programs, so this is Akron General, for example, but we have interview experiences from other programs as well. So that's something that you will find interesting. And then, of course, there is the Sarthi list. So, if you're applying to internal medicine, We will tell you the list of programs that are that you may find suitable for application. So it's just generating in a minute, it will show up. Finally, we do have, like you can see, this Telegram group, close Telegram group, where on a daily basis we post things like, the research positions, and our panelist answers questions on all aspects of match, as you can see here. So that was a quick overview of some of the things that we do. But let me now open up for questions. And if you are on Facebook, we will try to take questions as well. But you can just log on to the webinar where I am looking at the questions. And so I'm going to go in the order that I see the questions. The first question, I'm pathologist from India, step 1 score 229, 237. I would like to do residency in pathology, old graduate 2009. Could you guide me towards chances in pathology? So as we discussed, your scores are okay from that perspective in pathology, and you're already doing residency in pathology. So one of the things that the data did not show you was home country residency does have a very positive impact. So in terms of applying to pathology, what you do need is you already have a residency in pathology. Probably a couple of months of USCE should help you, and your work experience. Try step 3 if you have the visa. But our team can guide you in terms of what the pathology programs look for, what to add to the profile. We do have pathologists on our panel. This is the other thing, we do have panelists specializing in your field. So pathologists on our panel that can guide you. But in terms of scores, you should be okay. Pathology is very unforgiving, actually. So they don't take year of graduation that seriously. You should be fine. Let me see if there are other questions. And if there are question, medical graduate with 5 years gap, what are the chances to match in internal medicine? So gaps are a red flag, and we'll have a session on how to overcome those gaps, but without knowing your step scores, it's hard to say how your chances for match in internal medicine. So if you tell us the scores, then I think becomes easier. Okay, let me see. For those who are a fresh graduate and done step 1 pass-fail type, what more can you do to improve matching chances other than step 2 research or rotation? So this is where, if you have a profile review with us, we can tell you in very detail what type of rotation. So it's not only rotations, it is what exact type of rotations that will give you strong LOR, that will give you the experience that you probably are lacking. And then what type of research, not everyone needs a manuscript. So what type of research can you do? And of course, a good score in CK. Again, depending on your CK score, you may not meet step 3. So there are things that you can do, and we'll have to look at that profile. But you are on the right track, in terms of what you can do. So, all right. Any other question? And Sejal, if there are questions on Facebook, if you can post here, I can probably answer. Otherwise, is step 1 score still considered in math? So yes, so that's the other thing. If you have taken step 1 for pass fail, it'll show as a pass fail. But if you took it for a score, the 3-digit score is still made available to the program. And yes, they did filter till last year with a score. So we'll have to see what they do in the next couple of years. I think even in this season, because there'll be a lot of IMGs with a pass with a score. It will still be considered for match. Yes, that's going to be there. All right. This is good. If there are other questions, feel free to connect with us. We will have these webinars now regularly on all aspects of the match. And good luck to all of you. Do take a look at our website, because we do have free profile reviews. So based on what you need in terms of the match, our team will sit down with you and discuss. And of course, there are group discounts. So if you are having some financial issues, or if you want to join our match plans and you feel there are issues, reach out to Sejal. And Sejal, maybe you can give them your email. There are group discounts for all, our platinum, gold, bronze, and bridge to residency. So you can probably join in groups and get a more attractive price if you are interested. And with that, I have a very nice and great weekend, the rest of it, and we'll be in touch. Keep the screen open just in case you need to grab some links. And other than that, have a great weekend. Thank you.